Today, I want to discuss one of the most important aspects, namely the ending of the game. What happened here, and what twists should we expect in the 5th chapter? So we won't touch on every little detail in the game, but we'll focus on the ending, which I feel needs to be split into 2 sections: Poppy's betrayal and the entrance to the laboratory. After successfully defeating Doughie, the path ahead leads us into the mysterious and somewhat intimidating trash chute. Almost immediately, we find ourselves confronted by none other than Kissy Missy and the unsettling Poppy doll. As we attempt to reach out and establish communication with Ollie, it quickly becomes apparent that all this time, Prototype has been in silent contact with us, unbeknownst to anyone. Meanwhile, Poppy too is as shocked and bewildered as we are by this revelation. In the end, the truth is unveiled in an unexpected twist. Poppy had never actually met Ollie in person. Despite this, she places her trust in the words of Experiment 1006, who assures her that at one point Ollie did indeed exist. If you pay close attention to the details, you'll recall the cassette recording where Ollie, in a moment of solace, comforts the Poppy doll during a difficult phone conversation. This recording, presumably made long before the player returned to the factory, offers a clue about the past. In reality, Prototype, or perhaps the real Ollie, has been the one communicating with Poppy all along. The fact that Experiment 1006 possesses knowledge of everything makes it clear that neither we, as players, nor Poppy, have ever truly encountered the genuine Ollie. This prolonged spectacle served as a cunning strategy, allowing Prototype to collect a vast amount of information. Clearly an ominous development. At this point, the next course of action is revealed to us, and it takes us completely by surprise. Experiment 1006's intentions are laid bare as they make it clear that the next target is the elimination of the remaining allies, likely referring to both the main character and Kissy Missy. Afterward, Experiment 1006 offers Poppy an enticing opportunity, a chance to return to her home, subtly alluding to the very box in which she had been locked away for such an extended period of time. This suggestion leaves Poppy deeply conflicted and increasingly confused, ultimately leading her to flee, which could easily be interpreted as her betrayal of us. However, as it turns out, there's something far more significant, mysterious, and complex going on between these two characters, something far deeper than anyone could have initially realized. Poppy was most likely locked in the box specifically at the initiative of Prototype, and he needs to return her there. But for what reasons? After finding the untitled cassette, you'll discover a revelation about our friend and learn some important things. Poppy had a direct conversation with Experiment 1006 at some point during that time. When the player finally returns to the factory, the reality of the situation sets in. We find ourselves trapped, unable to leave this place. The looming presence of the factory surrounds us, a place of nightmares. Yet in a twisted way, Poppy hoped we would leave immediately, escape from the horrors that have become part of our existence. She absolutely despises the factory and everything tied to it. Every corner, every shadow seems to remind her of the torment she endured. Her hatred for it runs so deep that she wants to see it completely destroyed, to burn it to the ground, erasing all traces of what happened there, and more importantly, hiding the terrifying truth from the world. It's as though she wishes for the factory and all its horrific secrets to be wiped from history, never to resurface again. But within the heart of this terrible revelation lies a discovery that shakes everything we thought we knew. Poppy is, in fact, the daughter of Elliot Ludwig, the enigmatic and powerful founder of the Playtime company. This revelation unearths an entirely new layer of mystery, with implications far beyond what we could have ever imagined. For Prototype, however, we are nothing more than an unwanted obstacle standing in the way of its ultimate goals. It views us as a major threat, and our presence complicates everything. But when we unite, something extraordinary happens. We become capable of achieving the impossible. This transformation is not lost on those who understand the stakes. Dr. Sawyer himself acknowledges that the player, in this moment, is the embodiment of everything Experiment 1006 fears most. This only deepens the stakes, as it becomes clear that Prototype will stop at nothing to eliminate us, seeing us as its greatest challenge. To achieve its goal, Prototype needs to deal with us, one by one, systematically, starting with Poppy, who is returned to captivity. This is not just a strategic move, it's an existential necessity for Prototype. If Poppy remains free, if we remain united, the factory could very well meet its end, and with it, Prototype's plans. It's a dire situation where survival and victory are on the line. Yet despite everything, I still do not view Poppy's escape as a true betrayal. She is not acting out of malice, but out of fear. A fear born from years of suffering. She is a broken person, a casualty of the horrors that have unfolded in the factory, shaped by everything she's witnessed. Her trauma runs deep, and in her mind, fleeing was her only way out, her desperate attempt to survive. She's terrified, and it's impossible to overlook how deeply Prototype has manipulated the situation. In fact, I believe that Prototype's actions here are nothing more than an emotional overreaction. A reaction from someone who was once our friend, now twisted by circumstances beyond their control. By separating the three of us, Prototype has made us vulnerable, ensuring that we are easier targets, isolated and alone. The next chapter of this journey, the 5th chapter of the game, will see us fighting not just for survival, but for our reunion. It will be a struggle for us to come together once more, facing untold dangers and challenges along the way, but ultimately it will be our final mission, and the stakes couldn't be higher. The difficulty will be immense, but it's a fight we cannot avoid. However, I propose that we look beyond the immediate conflict and shift our focus to the second section of the ending, where even more revelations and consequences await us. What is the main secret hidden behind the flowers? This question has been lingering in the air for some time now, and it seems that with the upcoming 5th chapter, we are on the verge of uncovering it. The layers of mystery continue to deepen, and each revelation brings us closer to the truth. As the story unfolds, the secrets surrounding the flowers will likely play a crucial role in understanding the larger picture, potentially unlocking answers that have been hidden from us all along. There's a sense of anticipation building as this next chapter promises to shed light on these long-standing enigmas. The situation becomes more unsettling when considering what Poppy the doll revealed earlier. According to her, Prototype has lost everything and everyone. Its allies, its control, its power. This puts Huggy's condition in a new light. The player has managed to overcome every trial and defeat every subordinate, leaving Prototype desperate, with fewer resources at its disposal. The bandages on Huggy may be a sign that in this weakened state, Prototype is forced to rely on the remnants of its creations, patching them up and sending them into battle, perhaps with little hope of success. It suggests a greater vulnerability within Prototype, and this twist will likely lead to even more intense challenges ahead. As we move forward, it's clear that we are on the precipice of something monumental. One more step toward unraveling the mysteries that have kept us in the dark for so long. But some aren't ready to give up so easily. We've previously raised the theory that Experiment 1006 was able to offer assistance to Huggy Wuggy. Of course, this is all for the upcoming battle with us. What exact pressure Huggy will place on the main character remains to be seen in the future. One thing we know for sure is that after waking up in the laboratory zone following the red gas trap, you'll worry about your safety like never before.